Hello, this is Skee from Tai Chi Alive. Today we're going to be looking at something called the Wu Chi stance. And the Wu Chi stance, or the Wu Chi posture, is one of the most foundational stances in all of Tai Chi and Qigong. When you first look at it, it's going to look pretty simple, but it's actually quite complex. And when we start to drill down into it, you're going to see that there's quite a few elements involved. So the Wu Chi stance is believed to be, when you're standing in it, to be the most effective posture to allow Qi to flow throughout the body. The meaning of Wu Chi, Wu means nothingness, means emptiness, non. And Ji, or Qi, means the ultimate. So it's the ultimate nothingness. And so we're going to learn a little bit about that. We'll dig a little bit deeper into that. And I want you just to get a feel for what this is, what that stance is, and hope you enjoy the video. Let's get going. All right, so let's jump right in. So first thing you're going to do for Wu Chi is have your feet shoulder width apart. And have your feet facing forward. And I'd like you to have your weight evenly distributed between your left and your right foot, so right in the middle. And also displaced evenly across the foot. So from the toe all the way to the heel, it's going to be equally distributed. You're not on the edges of your feet, you're not on your balls of your feet or on your heel. Good. Okay, your knees are going to be slightly bent. You don't want to have straight legs doing this. So slightly bent, and the hips, the hip bone, you don't want to be too far this way, too far that way. So you want to just roll your hip under a little bit, but just enough to where you feel a little bit of a straightening in the spine, but nothing too excessive. All right, great. All right, so now we're going to be completely relaxed in the shoulders. And take a big, nice breath. That's right, just relax. Good. Okay, great. So now, as we're totally relaxed in the shoulders, I want you to visualize, imagine that there's a rope attached to the tailbone, and that rope is pulling down into the earth. And every time you exhale, you're going to feel that rope just pulling down a little bit. Feeling it pulling down, allowing the knees to bend a little more as it pulls down. Give yourself a little bit of room under the arms. If you had a tennis ball under there, or maybe your fist. Okay, again, totally relaxed in the shoulders. Now the back, you don't want to have the chest sticking out. You want to have your back is going to be bowed, and the chest is more concave. So we're about halfway there. So now we have the bottom half we're working with. Now the top, I want you to imagine there's a little thread attached to the top of your head, and it's pulling way up into the sky. A golden thread. As that thread pulls up, it tends to move, the chin is moving towards the chest a little bit. So it's lengthening up the spine, lengthening up the back. That's right. Now take the tongue and put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And I usually have it right behind my teeth. So what's the purpose of doing that? Well, connecting the head to the body. It's believed that the head is a yang power. It's a yang It's a yang energy. The body is a yin energy. So connecting the two, it's like a circuit breaker. And when the circuit is not connected, the tongue's not touching the roof of the mouth, the qi is not flowing as effectively. When the tongue is attached, then you allow qi to flow around and around the body. So it's like a circuit breaker kind of. All right. So head pulled up, tailbone pulling down. Taking some nice deep breaths. Very nice. Now, we talk about breath. That's the most important aspect of this practice. And where is the breath? Well, a lot of the times we tend to be right here in the chest when we breathe in everyday life. When we're anxious, worried about stuff, we're here. But the objective of this practice is to bring the breath from the chest down into the core and down into what's called the lower Don Tien. Now, the yogic traditions, they talk about having 7 chakras or energy centers. Well, in Taoism and in Qigong, Tai Chi, we have the idea of 3 energy centers, or Don Tien. Don Tien means elixir field. So we have 3 of these powerful energy centers. The first one is right around the belly button. The second one is around the solar plexus. And the third is right at the third eye, where that would be right in the center of the forehead. So the one we're going to work on today is on the lower Don Tien. And to find that one, if you bring 3 fingers together and put them on your belly button, or right below the belly button, it's 3 fingers below, and then about 2 fingers inside. Imagine that there's a balloon there, maybe a golden balloon. So when you inhale, you see that balloon is expanding. Exhale, contracting. And again, inhaling and exhaling. So it should be where if you touched your stomach while you're breathing, you are physically feeling your stomach expanding and contracting as you breathe. That's how powerfully you should be bringing it on. Okay, so back to our posture, having the head pulled up, tailbone pulled down, feeling that weight is sinking down into the feet. Now the Taoists have this idea of the 1,000-pound man, and what they want you to visualize that if you were made out of bronze, or if you were made out of brass, or maybe even a terracotta, like a terracotta warrior. So visualize yourself as just being heavy, and when you exhale, all that weight is moving down into the feet and down into the earth. We are connecting with the earth. A big part of the practice of Qigong, of Tai Chi, is that connection with the earth. So much of our lives we are up in our heads. The monkey brain is chattering away. We're lost in our thoughts. So what we're doing here is we are bringing that down into the lower Don Tien and down into grounding ourselves with our feet into the earth. Great. Okay, well, this is pretty much, we are there in the Wu Qi stance. We're going to do a couple breaths while we're here. And as you breathe, I'm just going to go through, and this is something I would like you to start working on, adopting this as a routine. When you go into Wu Qi, just go through all the key points and check them off if these are happening. So here we go, start your breath. So is that thread pulling up the top of your head? Is the chin being tucked in? Is your tongue on the roof of the mouth? Are your shoulders nice and relaxed? Is the back bowed? Do you have a little bit of room under the arms? Do you have your Chinese roof tiles? How about the hips? So they turned in just slightly. And what about the knees? Are they slightly bent? And is that rope pulling down on the tailbone? And are the feet nicely weighted, evenly distributed? So keep that breath going. Visualize that expanding and contracting. So you might notice that we have this polarity, this pulling from two sides. And this is in Taoism, the idea of yin and yang, where you have everything has its own opposite. So in the same way, in this posture, we are experiencing that duality. There's a pulling up, there's a pulling down, there's a stretching in the back. We have duality in the breath. Inhale. This is the yin breath. You're receiving, absorbing. Exhale. Yang breath, letting go, opening up. A couple more breaths. Very good. So just let the hands now float up. Light hands coming up, and now heavy elbows, pulling those hands down and down. Very good. Now we're going to just shift the weight to the right and step in. And there you have it. So with this Wu Chi, you'll notice I was talking before about it being a foundational posture or stance. Whenever, if you Google any kind of Tai Chi form, whether it's Chen style, whether it's Wu style, whether it's Yang style, you'll always notice that they always begin in Wu Chi. They do their amazing form, whatever it is, whatever style, and they always end in Wu Chi and then finish off. So you'll see them, you'll start off, they usually have their feet together, they'll shift the weight, they'll step out, and they'll step into Wu Chi. Usually sit there for a little bit, and then they'll probably start up with the hands coming up. Then they'll go into their beautiful practice, whatever it is, whatever the form is, and then when they end, they go back into Wu Chi. Shift the weight and step back. Now there's all kinds of really incredible symbolic and spiritual meanings that are behind this stuff, behind Wu Chi. And this is not, I think there's enough here for you to get going, get started on. We'll get into that in other videos. So anyway, it's something to look forward to, and hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next video.